Let's hit the high road. Let's hit the high road. It's the first touch, strong connection. It lays deep in your soul. Feel the kindness strongly coming, 'cause you can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road.
Hi, it's Nancy Yearout, and welcome to High Road to Humanity. I have a really great gentleman here today. NT Hettigei is here, and hopefully I've pronounced your name properly. Is that right, NT?
Yeah, no, you did very well. And then thanks for having me on your show.
Well, I'm excited. You guys, he has written a book called Beyond Our Self-Image, The True Story of a Fictional Character. Now,
Yes, that's right.
yes, and I'm holding the book up if you are watching me on video right
Yeah.
now. Let me give you just an idea of what we're going to be talking about today. So, N.T. Hettigei is a spiritual teacher. He's a writer. He's a self-publisher who's been sharing his experience of true happiness with others for the last 3 decades. And you know what? He's definitely on the money on this one, you guys. This book is really good. His life journey started in a rural village in Sri Lanka, and then he migrated to New Zealand. He then moved to the USA and lived in Minneapolis, which I'm sure that was an experience with the cold weather.
Yes.
And now, you guys, he's in Phoenix, Arizona, which is awesome. And I told him I just left that area. But he successfully navigated through his personal and professional challenges in many parts of the world. And he attributes this success, you guys, to the inner peace that comes with firsthand experience of true happiness. So he's going to talk to us about that today. He is a retired certified public and chartered accountant. He has quite the background. But he does promote nonviolence, harmony by eliminating discrimination in the world. Right on. I am there with you. He sincerely wishes that his writings will help others find their inner peace and true happiness to resolve their life's challenges and unite the world. Well, fabulous. And it is a fabulous book. And we're going to ask him about his story. Before I get going on this, and I just want to mention what happened over the weekend. This is High Road to Humanity. What happened with President Trump and the shooting over the weekend was so horrific. And there's been so much negativity. People's words have power. People get emotional. And some of these words that come out of people's mouth aren't always the truth. And I think this is where we have issues a lot of times. But I was watching YouTube and I was watching, my TikTok, and everyone keeps bringing up, and so I had to pull out the family Bible, you guys. I try to keep this show, as, you know, let's see, how should I say this? Not so on one religion or another, try to be real equal on everything. But I did pull out my family Bible from the 1700s because he was shot at 6/11. And everyone keeps bringing up that this happened, and they reference this to a scripture in the Bible here. I've got the old family Bible out, you guys. It's 6:11. It's chapter 6, verse 11. This is Ephesians, and I'm just going to read you a brief part of this. And the reason I'm going to do it from the old family Bible is because it reads differently than the ones that we have today. So I'm just going to start. This is chapter 6, verse 10, and I'm just going to go 10 through 17 briefly, but check this out. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And to me, that was just really, he had the armor of God on. And you can think whatever you want. And if you want to comment, you're welcome to. NT, that was my feeling on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I just got that your message on whole phrase, the very best part of it, that spiritual wickedness.
Yeah,
You just read it, right? That
yeah,
is where that really comes to, that it comes because of our the concept or the conceptualization, or the actually what we have is we have some kind of a speculations. And because of those speculation, the very faith is
mm,
being transferred into a wickedness.
yeah,
That's what the Bible is saying there.
yeah.
Because you would have noticed that really I do have a website called ancientpath.org.
Okay.
The subtitle for that is The Path to Inner and Global Peace.
Right. Oh my
Where
God.
I have seen this since 1992. I had this website up at the dawn of internet.
Yeah. Mhm.
So that is what my message is the same as that you are trying to say, and then even the Bible says,
Yeah.
even any other religion says.
Yeah.
So in that effort, I'm trying to make that connection, that really all what we need to do is to see within us, and then touch that true happiness, or
That's
our
that
true
true.
self.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want you to tell everybody your story. This book is really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's beyond our self-image. It's the true story of a fictional character. He gives 17 practices in here. But you say in here, my inner exploration has been going on since birth. And, tell your story. You've always been a seeker. You migrated to New Zealand in your early 30s to study with the monks. I mean, tell me your story. How did you get so inspired?
Yeah, I just want not to tell my story. I want to tell everybody else's story as well along with it.
Okay.
And in fact, actually, as I said, my inner exploration started when I was a toddler, but
Mhm.
it was the case for everybody else as well. They started the same way, because you can remember
Yeah.
early days that really we just tasted everything, even the dirt. We
Yeah.
just tasted to see whether it
Right.
is what it is, and then and we realize that really, oh, this is some. And then sometimes your mom and dad say that don't put your finger into this flame of the candle,
Right.
but you never listen to them, but you
Right.
go
You
and
do it
just
anyway just to see. Right. We're
and that
always
is
testing. We're always testing. Yeah.
that is what our exploration starts at from the beginning. But in my case, of course, I kept that kind of a trend all the way. But I know most of the people, they change that halfway through, like, when they become a little bit older, people give them a different identity, and then they give them a different goal. And then you have to be this one, you have to be that one. And so actually our mind is really cluttered with all these other opinions.
Yeah.
And then
People
we
try to
just
mold us. People try to mold us into what they want us to be instead of
Exactly,
what we want to be, right?
exactly. So that is what I think. From my childhood, I was given that freedom. My parent didn't care about me that much, in the sense that really they would have seen something in me, or they were not really. They were busy with the other things that they were doing. So I am the youngest in the family. So I was
Okay.
just free to do whatever I want. Like, so
I
I
see.
have
I
been,
love it. You got away with more than the others, probably. Well,
eh,
yeah. So you talk about our true selves and the benefit of being in, the present moment, and because that's where the inner peace is. But what really hit me is that I guess you talk about this facade that we have, that we were just mentioning, that we create this. It's whether society creates it or we create it ourselves. It's the mask that we put on to pretend this is what I get out of this, and I really love this, by the way. I love your analogy. I don't want to give away your whole book, but it's true. We all put on this false face and it's not really who we are. Talk about this, NT.
Yeah, in fact, actually, it's like that's what I named that book as, it's our self-image, because we created that self-image. but
Yeah.
with all the other concept or other opinion from other people. So that self-image, we are really victim of that.
I know.
Yeah, that is what the problem is.
It's
So why can't
true.
we? Why actually we can use this our whatever we collected from others, and then all this knowledge we gathered from our studies and all that, we can use that as a tool rather than becoming a victim of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Now
agree.
think about that. Most of famous people that really who has different companies. I don't want to make the names, but actually they halfway through when they were studying or something, they just gave up all that, and then run through with their true self, and then do all the innovations.
Well, and it's usually, and we've talked about this on the show with other guests, it's something when something happens in your life, it almost propels you to go within. It did for me anyway. That's what happened with me. I can only speak for myself. So I would imagine that happens with a lot of people. You know, it's either a divorce or a death or a loss of a job or money or something that takes you to the point where you're like, wait a minute. And you start to go within, hopefully, and work on yourself, and then you start to realize all of these things, all of the I call it programming that we've been exposed to our whole lives, and then we can work on the reprogramming of ourselves, you
Yeah,
know.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And then it's not only the those bad thing happening to you, Nancy. Sometimes the people do not realize that like, some good thing happens to you,
Right.
but you ignore that. You should have really the capitalize on it.
Yeah, no,
You
that's
see?
true. Well, they're our best teachers, you know. My mom was a narcissist, so I always look at that. You know, I used to be really angry, and now I'm like, oh, she taught me a lot, not how to be. You
Yeah.
know, those are our teachers. You know, I love this analogy. Can you talk about the cloud analogy that you taught in your book? Because it's thoughts, perception, and emotions, you say, are not yours. They are like clouds. They belong to this fictional character. Can you expand upon this?
Yeah, in fact, actually, I'm just inviting everybody, I mean, the listeners and everybody to go out and then just sit on the comfortable chair or the park bench and then look at the sky. And then, of course, you would see that really all these clouds are out there. So those are the things that really the disturbing something behind it, which
Mm,
is that actually through the sky itself, right? But
mhm.
sometimes the people look at it, even some children, they might just look at it and they think, oh, there is a cloud, white cloud, black cloud, oh, there's a blue cloud as well. So they actually identify that blue as a cloud too, because they don't know about it. The
Right.
similarly, that we always look at the sky and then we conceptualize, oh, this is what it is. And then that is the same, it's applied to our all concept, on concepts, and then on speculation and all ideologies and all that, just like that clouds. What you need to do is just focus and then go, I mean, then look at that blue patch in the
Okay.
sky,
Okay.
and then that's the window for you to go through and then experience your true self. That's what
Absolutely.
I'm saying here. So actually your true self is behind this self-image. You can go back to the true self. Though I try to, the general, I mean, the gradually increase your experience into that level while you are reading the book,
Right.
because that's my intention.
Right.
So you might see that really my chapters are aligned to just to bring it, you're explorer, or the you are actual
Yeah.
explorer, but you
Right.
go into that level of investigation, or in it, looking at that cloud as, or your thoughts, your mind as the scattered cloud out there. But I'm just opening little windows of that blue sky
Right.
within that layer to go into your true self and
And,
then experience that.
and experience it. Yeah. Well, when we are our true selves, we stop worrying about what other people think, and it changes everything. And it takes faith. It takes, non-judgment, a lot of different things. You have the 17 practices. I wrote down a few practices that I thought we could talk about. I love practice number 9, recognizing the noble heart. An incident in your life that moved you to tears expresses your noble heart.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is this is Yeah, this is the same thing that I just mentioned, that
Yeah.
your noble heart is that like that blue patch in the sky. That is that really you if you go if you bring your attention to that level, enhance your attention to that level, you have a noble heart. Actually, many of these people around, I mean, most of the readers and everybody, they do have that noble heart. They
Yeah.
don't recognize that as a noble, because I know that some people, they, if I go into the actual quality of that heart, is that really you are more giving. You just try to help others. You have the kindness, you have the empathy. So
Mhm.
it sometimes it happens only here and there, but you can really identify that further, and then you can be in that noble heart. It's just like that, really, that window of that blue sky, that really you are just touching it. The problem here is that really most of the people just go along with your mind, your thoughts, your concept, and then which is ever changing. You might think that, "Yeah, I can get a satisfaction on this," and then once you get that satisfaction fade away. So you want
Well,
something else.
yeah, exactly.
So
Well, I just want to ask you a question real quick here. So I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, you need to come from your heart. And they said, no, you have to use your head too. And I said, no, if you go with your heart, it overrides the head. And I think there's a real problem today. I just want to talk to you about this and I want you to talk to the audience about it. Because in my mind, my heart and my soul override everything, not the head. And people overthink stuff. What do you think about this? Am I on the
yeah,
money there or what?
no, you are in the right track. You are really giving the same message that I'm trying to give, because
Yeah, I
the
didn't want to
head.
argue. So I was like, okay. So I just kind of shut up and let the person believe whatever, because you can't convince somebody. Let me just say that really quick. If they don't want to recognize it, you can only put the information out there, just like you are. But people, it's up to them to make that decision. You know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. That's true. That's true. That
Yeah.
I understand. So the decision is made through the head most of the time. But what you're saying is that really make that decision with your heart. Then you make the right decision. Now,
Mhm.
even if you think about all these people like, Nikola Tesla, but he was just talking about, this induction motor came through my heart. That is how all the invention came up. Facebook or Google or
Through
any
the
other thing.
heart.
Yeah, it came through their heart, through heart, and then they ignore all the other negative messages coming through your head.
Right.
So that's how the success can achieve, not through the struggling with this rat race,
Right.
thinking that, oh, money will do everything. Not actually. People make money by giving their ideas,
Yeah.
their
Like,
thoughts, their
right.
compassion.
Yes, yes. Right
Yes,
on,
yes.
man. I love it. I love it. Well, you know what? You do a chapter in the book. I really liked your book, by the way. He does a chapter on Einstein, which I am always have been fascinated. I think a lot of people are. I love what you say. You say that everything, oh, actually, when Einstein gives a formula, well, we're talking about that, but hold on a minute. Oh, religions all over the world have been proclaiming the same thing using somewhat different terminology when they assert that God is everywhere. And God is everywhere. But you go on to reference Walter Isaac, who wrote about Einstein. And I like this because Einstein, his passion for geometry and algebra, started when he was young. But he said that nature could be understood as a mathematical structure. That's what really hit me on this one, NT. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
In fact, actually, that is the truth. In fact, actually, he's not good in mathematics at the beginning. He tried to learn mathematics
Mhm.
first to explain what he has been experiencing. So that is how he used this, and then finally end up with this famous formula of E equal mc square.
Right.
Because the mathematics, in the sense for his mind, actually, he has. When I read most of just summaries of those papers he put out, and then
Mhm.
when I was reading those papers, actually, I can relate to my experience what he's
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about.
Oh, yeah.
Things like, he was talking about jittery liquid, jittery condition, which is actually vibration that really we can touch when you are really calm down and then open that window of that blue sky and
Yeah.
then go through into that your noble heart and
Right.
then go further into the inwardly into that inner peace.
Right. Right.
On that journey you will feel that your body is vibrating, and then
Yes.
you can hear that really your heartbeat
Yeah.
from a distance, not within.
Yeah.
So that is what he's talking about. Einstein is talking about. So
Well,
he's
it's the
he
Merkaba. I want to stop you a second. It's the Merkaba. I've had mine activated. I bet you have yours too, because I shook when it was activated. Did your body shake when your Merkaba? I call it the Merkaba, but did you
yeah
experience that as well?
yeah no yeah this
Yeah.
it's not activation, actually it is actually releasing.
Is
That's
that
how
what
I
it?
see
Okay, so
it.
I always thought it was an activation. It happened a few years
But
ago when I was in Sedona. I was like, yeah, but it changes everything, like
yeah
in your body, and because we're energetic souls, it changes the energy when you do that.
yeah
I was,
it is to me actually, Nancy, actually that is a one stage of leaving your body. Actually you can leave your body and then go further into the true self.
right.
So those are the stages. Now, actually, I'm dealing with some other people. If people call me and then ask their question. Some people have the issues like, even somebody touches him or her, actually, she starts shaking. So why is that? So it is actually one of the reason is that really your body or your mind is not allowing you to release it. So it's a resistant.
Ah, I love that. I love that. It
It is the
resists
resist.
it. It resists it. Well,
Yeah.
I'll go back to I'm teaching everybody to connect to the divine source and to connect to their guardian angel. And again, it's back to the energy and feeling the energy and knowing the energy is there. Knowing that you can connect to a higher, loving, peaceful energy and bring that energy into your body to heal yourself and to be at peace. To me, when I really experienced total peace is when I started to bring in the light. Now I bring in the gold light. I used to bring in the white light. Sometimes I bring in color, but but that's when I really felt at peace. What do you feel?
Yeah, in fact, actually, that is kind of the object that if I put it that way. So you're bringing that light color, different colors, and then you are still focusing on that light color. So that is how you really feel freedom. Just like, you are now going through the clouds and then you're going into that blue sky. So
Right,
you
above
feel
it.
that,
Yes.
yeah, you're above that. And then you are really along with that, and then you're peaceful, and that is true, that is really good. But I go beyond that.
Tell me what
So
you do.
I go beyond in the sense that really even that the blue sky, I would say that really, to go to your true self,
Right.
what you need to do is to focus on the not the blue sky but the quality of the sky,
But the what?
quality of the
The
sky,
quality. I see.
the quality of
You're
the
saying
sky.
connect with your higher self.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, what I meant was that really it's not that really we know that really sky is infinite, right?
Right.
So it goes further, and then it is blue because of that really there are so many stars. They are giving some light, so that is why it is blue.
Right.
But that is what you are doing, I think. What you're bringing is that blueness or that light into
I
you,
don't
and
know. I
then
think it's the
making its
light of
peace.
God.
Yeah, and then that's you're right. It's the God in the sense God is everywhere,
Yeah, and
right?
that's what, yeah, and that's why I'm so glad that you put Einstein's a chapter about him because we're energy and energy is everywhere, and you go into the physics of that. I just thought that was really cool that you included this in your book. Um, we only have so long to talk today, and I want to talk. Part 4 of your book is how to experience our true selves.
So you are
Uh,
breaking, Nancy. Just
Go ahead.
some your line is
Oh,
stopped now.
okay. Did I lose you there for a second? You're there.
Yeah, a little bit you lost. Yeah, you
Okay.
started to talk about this
Okay.
Einstein
Yeah.
chapter, and then after that,
Uh-oh. Okay, well, that's all right. So let's talk about part 4 of your book and how to experience our true selves. Because you really go through all these different practices and you teach us along the way. Can you expand upon this portion of the book a little bit?
Yeah, in fact, actually, the those are you would see there is an index of all these practices at the very end of the book. I
Yes,
have uh, I have put that index or listed out all the practices. So
yeah.
that is to just to revisit if you want to do that practices again. But I would expect that reader to do the practices as when they were reading. So
Okay.
then your experience will the enhance while you are reading.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
what I that's
Okay.
why I have that. Yeah. And
Okay.
then if somebody was thinking of, okay, no, I can't read the whole book, but I want to pick one or two practices, so they can do that as well. But I highly recommend first read the book, and then you
Yeah.
will get that
And then go back.
understanding.
Right. Well,
Yeah, of
I'm going to
course.
pick one out here just for fun. Practice 13, experiencing true happiness. And
Yes.
I'm going to read a little bit of that if that's okay with you. Let's see.
Yes, certainly.
Okay, experiencing true happiness. When you move attention to inner peace, you experience true happiness. Boy, isn't this the truth? And you also write in your book, and I just want to talk about this briefly. When you do experience true happiness, the material items don't mean as much.
No, not at all. Because the true happiness means that really you are peaceful, and then it's not the that now if you talk about the material things, because the material things you might have a brand new car within
Right.
a year, that brand new car is gone,
Right.
and then
I
your
know.
happiness gone too. Your
I
happiness
know.
gone too.
Well, a lot of
But
people, and I just bring this up. I don't know where I saw it in your book, but I just thought it was really great because we all have to get to this point. It's really cool to have nice things. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have a home. It's great to have a warm bed to sleep in, water, food, all of these things, clothing. Everybody likes a nice outfit, myself included. But it's not the end all get all. I think just moving, I'm going to just say this really quick. Moving from where I was in the Southwest to the East Coast, I let a lot of things go, but I didn't care. And
yeah,
it's taken me years to get to this point. It was like,
yeah,
oh, it doesn't matter. Did you want that? Oh, you can have that. I don't care. And it's like the things, I don't know, they've lost their meaning. Not everything, but a lot
yeah.
of things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get to
yeah,
that
yeah.
point.
That is one of the indicators that really you are now free from things that you can just give it away. But in the same time, it is not. I'm not advocating or I'm not telling that really you don't have to enjoy what you have.
Right,
You can.
right.
It's okay. But the thing is that really you may sometimes most of the people they are really very much attached to those things.
I know.
That's the issue. Yeah, you don't have to attach. You can enjoy it, but you can be, away from or the detached from, in the sense that really you are not clinging into them.
Well, yeah. And I just like how you said the car could be gone. Because that's the absolute truth. It's same thing for a home. I mean, all the crazy weather we're having, I mean, you could have a home today and be gone tomorrow.
Yeah,
And that's where I think this book is really important because if you have the inner peace and the inner happiness, which just helps you along that pathway, then when these tragedies happen in life, because everybody has stuff happen, nobody has a
yeah,
perfect ride, then it's how
yeah.
we handle it, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing is that really it is very easy if you think about that. Really, after all, one day we have to leave all this thing, right?
Yeah, I can't wait.
No, you don't have to wait. You can do that right away now. Leave in the sense that really you let go of them without clinging to it,
I know, I'm
and then
sorry.
you yeah. No, that is
And
what it
see?
is. Now, even those good, the religious teachers, like the Jesus who left everything, and then but he is actually the left things in the sense that really his clingingness is also not there. So
Mm.
it's similarly now when I go to the other religion, of course, Buddhism, I'm so, I mean, fond of in the sense that I'm born Buddhist anyway. So I mean, the Siddhartha, the prince, he left everything, and then went to seek for goodness. But finally he realized, no, doing that won't give any benefit. So then he just gave up all this austerity and everything, and then he became a normal person. And then to start eating and having robes and all that thing, and then being happy. And everybody around the world was thinking, oh, he's really happy person. And
Yeah.
some of the people around, I mean, in India, some of those ascetic, they were thinking, oh, he's a kind of a luxurious guy, so he's just
But why
indulge
not? But why
everything.
not? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
his message. That's Buddha's
sure.
message. Okay, of course, this world is to actually not to indulge. I wouldn't use that indulge words, the word indulge, because it's too strong. I would
Right.
say this world is to just to
Be
comfort
joyful.
yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Comfort
sure.
yourself.
Yeah, and be happy while you're here. I
Yeah,
think, yeah, I believe that. I believe we're supposed to be happy people and enjoy being in the human body because I believe it's a gift to be in this
yeah.
body. We came
I,
down here
I
to experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that, Nancy, because I have been in different part of the world, and then there are so many poor people, but they are very
They're
happy.
happy.
Then
I know. Oh my God. Do you know what? And
yeah. For instance, if I refer to New Zealand, when I go to one of the Maori tribes settlement, and then I see that everybody is laughing and then smiling. They don't have much of the material thing, but they are really happy. So similar case I have seen every other, even in US, some of the places that really they live very limited resources, but still they are happy.
right.
That's the
I
happiness
think the
I'm
more
talking
we
about.
have, the less happy we are. That's what I've come to
Yeah,
realize. I really believe that. I made a trip down to Mexico. Now this is probably 20 years ago. I'm going to age myself down there to have fun. And I had never gone and spent any time in Mexico, but I saw all the children and they were so happy, and the people and the adults, and they were laughing, and they had nothing. I mean, they had like shacks,
yeah,
and they were the
and
happiest people I ever saw. And that's when it really hit me. You're absolutely right
yeah,
that
exactly.
when you have too much stuff, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's like, well, if I don't have that, I gotta have this, and if I have this, I have to have that. And look what she has, and why don't I have that? And then it becomes jealousy, and oh my gosh, think about
I'm
that.
glad that really you are just really enacting my book now, because as you mentioned, the when you look at the children's or that in Mexico that you were saying the children
It's
were happy,
true.
so we were happy too
I know
when we
you
were
do a whole
children.
chapter. You guys, he does a chapter on children. One of my favorite chapters. Continue on. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that we can go back to that because it is behind us. Now think about actually the our core true self when we were a toddler, that that kind of a happiness, that kind of a feeling, still you have with you, everybody, even this
Yeah.
who listeners.
Yeah.
If you just relax and just go back to that your inner self, you will experience, you will touch. Of course, although I am this old or this big or anything, but I was that little tiny guy those days, and
Mhm.
I was happy that time.
Well, if you go back to that feeling, I think is what you were talking about that I got out of the book when I read that portion. It's that feeling, that childhood feeling, of just being
Yeah.
free. You talk about not having to worry about anything, or because we didn't, we just were having fun and experiencing. And you were talking about exploring. And I think everybody can remember those times.
Yes, exactly, exactly. It's not remembered even. I think it is within you still, but you forgotten. You forgotten because
Oh
of
no,
you.
I remember. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. I'm
Some of
still
the
a
people,
kid.
of course.
I'm still a kid. I'm still a
Yeah,
kid.
most of people. And Nancy, that you were talking about that feeling in the sense that really as a child, you never took that as a feeling. You just took that as your experience. So that is that experience that when I say true happiness, it's an experience. It's not a feeling. It's an experience you enjoy throughout
Mhm,
without any lapses.
mhm. I
That
love it.
is within you. That is within you.
Yeah.
Actually, right now I can feel that really you have that too. Because whenever I meet somebody, I see that really inner peace in everybody, but they might have a different self-image, I can read that from their face, because
Right.
face has a different story, but
Mm,
not that they are true story. So
mm,
that is what I'm talking about here. So that face, or you might have that, it's like you are on a stage acting upon.
right.
You are an actor. You have to get down from the stage,
Mm,
and then feel that what you felt at the time, that really when you were a toddler.
right.
And then that is, and again, that I want to reiterate, that that was not a feeling. In fact, it was that experience
Mm,
which you still have,
mm, mm.
but it is been covered by this self-image.
Yeah.
And then you need to go beyond that. That's why this whole book is about.
Yeah.
And I hope that really people would get that experience while reading. But of course, if it was sometime, because still the individuals are different, because they have their temperament differently at
Mm,
a different level. So some people might get there pretty quickly, but if you don't, try it again, or even go into that practices, and get into that level of, a noble heart.
mm, mm.
So when you get to that noble heart, of course, you will be a happy person,
Yeah.
and then
So
you will actually the spread, and then this is the high road to humanity.
it is
What you were
absolutely.
talking about.
It is truly. I keep telling everybody. Hey, I want to talk
Yeah.
about one more thing before we get out of here today, because it's really hit me again in your book. You say pause and forgive. Forgive yourself and others and incidents that are bothering you. And boy, that hit me. And I know all this stuff, but you still live life. And you sometimes it's hard to forgive yourself, or it's hard to forgive somebody else, but you have to, or something that happened. It's hard to let go, but that pause and forgive really hit me. I'm so glad talk about this, because we carry it with us.
Yeah, yeah, you have to forgive, in the sense that that is why Jesus, or the when asked people to go to church and then confess, and then
Get
somebody
it
is
off their
listening,
chest. Oh yeah.
and then you are forgiving yourself. Definitely, that response to that, your confess would be that, really, okay, forgive yourself. That is the same message. So once you forgive yourself, you are really happy, because the people make mistake. It's not people, actually your mind. That your mind, you have been a victim of that, your mind. So
Mm,
let go of that, and
mm,
then be wise,
mm.
and then we more firm on that, your happiness,
Right. That's so
and
great.
then live in
Guys,
that happiness.
I know. I
Live in
love your
this.
book. I just love your book. You guys, it's
Thank you.
called Beyond Our Self-Image. It's the true story of a fictional character. And the fictional character is y'all. So this is by N.T. Hettigei, and it's Hettigei. NT, how do people find you? Give out your website again. I know you gave it out earlier, but
Yeah, but to buy the book, actually, you can go to any bookstore, and then, of course, Amazon
Mhm.
and the Barnes and Noble. They have that stock. And of course, if you wanted to read a little bit more about, go into my website, which is ancientpath.org. It is not only this book. I do have some other books as well written.
Yes,
One
you
is that
two
Explore
other.
Within.
Yeah, Explore Within was your first book.
Yeah, it's actually the second book. First book was actually, Are You a Philosopher or a Sage? So, but
Ah,
those are the foundation for this book. If you don't have to buy any of those books, if you buy this one or even any one of those, and then that has a kind of, this book has a more a different perspective
mm,
given to you, to more closer to you. So that's what this is all about. But Explore Within is similar. I do
yeah.
have a similar format, but actually it's more scholarly, I would say.
Ah, gotcha. Well, you guys, if you're just starting out on your spiritual path, or even just in the midst, this is fantastic. I read this and I was very, very impressed with your analogies and all the information you put in. And I thank you for putting this together for humanity. I want to give a shout out to Collective Inc. This is O Books that put this out. They're actually publishing my new book. It's going to be out soon, called A Guide to Angel Communication and Spiritual Law. and that will
Oh,
be out very
congratulations.
soon. Yes, thank you. I think it's available on Amazon in the UK, but not here yet. I'll let you guys know. Pick up my original book, Wake Up, the Universe is Speaking to You. If you want an angel reading, you guys, go to my website, nancyyearout.com. We're going to get out of here for today. But I have to say, Nancy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for
Oh,
coming.
same here. Same here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, Nancy.
absolutely. I hope everybody has a fabulous week. Get out there and go with the heart, and God bless.
Hold your head high, the world is coming. Watch the colors lift your soul. Connect the dots and keep the motion. Can achieve your goal. Let's hit the high road.